Guys, how's it going? True here, and I'm playing some Diablo 3. I'm going to do this time is I'm going to explain my monk build. Alright, if you noticed from last time, if you were at live stream, I am doing a whole new monk build. Alright, and the reason that is because if you look at the top of the screen, it says something that says seasonal. It ends up about a day and a half ago, the season's restarted. And when the season's restarting, basically, in short, everything got reset if you want to compete for ladder. So, let's go ahead and take a look. This is the leaderboards for ladder, alright? It's a neat little thing. It tells you, I'll explain more details as we get into it, alright? But let's go ahead and just jump into a game. We'll go to Tournament 1 just because I want to demonstrate. I could do Tournament 2, probably no problem, but in short, I changed my build a little bit, but before I was using a two-hander, which is actually really good. But now I'm switched to two one-handers. I'll explain why in a second. I'll explain the options too. First, we'll go ahead. I'll explain the build before we go into gear. All right. The build's going to be important because the build affects a lot of things. All right. So let's go. I don't like this place, so we're going to go to Act 1. Act 1's my preferred place. I like Act 1. So we're going to do TRISTRAM. Right. Now I'm going to be changing things a little bit because I was in my first, let me explain my ideas on the monk. The monk is the most supportive role in the game, in my opinion. By far the most supportive. The monk has a lot of options, alright? And the monk's options, I can heal, I can tank, or I can focus damage. Seems pretty freaking nice, alright? But let's just jump right into it. I'm not going to share my ideas yet. We'll do that in another video sometime. But let's go ahead and look at the build right now, alright? My main freaking spirit builder would be Tsunami. Rune with Crippling Wave. Alright? Unleash a large series of sweeping attacks that deal blank weapon damage as physical to all enemies. Every third hit also dazes enemies within 11 yards, slower movement speed. Now with Tsunami, it's increased range and it freezes enemies for 1 second. Alright? That's awesome because if they're frozen, they're not hurting you and they're not moving. Okay? So that's my spirit builder. Alright, let's go ahead and look at here. My main spam, I guess, you spam with my spirit would be Lash and Tail Kick. Calm down. And I'm Lash and Tail Kick, 50 Spirit, Deadly Roundhouse Kick that does % weapon damage as physical, and enemies hit or stun for 2 seconds, and it does lightning damage. Awesome. That means not only can I freeze them, but I can stun them too. So, if they're frozen or stunned, they're not hitting me. Alright, now let's get to the meat and potatoes of this, alright? This is the main skill for this build. Exploding Palm, alright? Cause the enemy to bleed for 1200% weapon damage as physical over 9 seconds. If the enemy dies while bleeding, it explodes and deals 2770% weapon damage as physical damage to all nearby enemies. Alright? And the flesh is weak, enemies hit, take 20% additional damage for 9 seconds. That is a lot of fucking damage, okay? And when I'm showing you guys the build, you're going to notice stuff exploding. If I get my exploding palm out on 2 or 3 enemies, I kill one, you'll notice a chain reaction where they all blow up. It's really neat. Alright? Let's go look at my second ability, Sweeping Wind. Alright? This is probably one of my second most useful skill, too. It's a constant damage. Alright? Surround yourself in a vortex that continuously deals 105% weapon damage to all enemies within 10 yards. It lasts 6 seconds and refresh each time you strike an enemy with a melee attack. The enemy critical hit has a chance to increase the effect of the vortex up to 3 stacks for 315% weapon damage. At all times, all around you. And the rune I use is Cyclone. Alright? While your vortex is at 3 stacks or more, critical hits have a chance to spawn a lightning tornado that periodically electrocutes nearby enemies for 95% weapon damage. That's just more damage. Now, you can change this too. You can switch it to Master of Cold, and Master of Cold will help freeze your enemies. So if you're having trouble survive, switch to Master of Cold. So it keeps your enemies from hitting you more often. And another benefit to the enemies being frozen, they are easier to target with your exploding palm. But okay, we've all played. If you're watching this, you've played Diablo 3. It gets chaotic. All right. If they're frozen, they're not moving. They're easier to target. Trust me on this. They are easier to target. They're not moving. Alright? But I want to stick with Cyclone because I don't have as much trouble surviving. Alright? Third one is Epiphany. Epiphany is your bread and butter, alright? Cooldown, 60 seconds. Have an epiphany, increasing your spirit regen per second by 20, enabling melee attacks to instantly dash to your target for 15 seconds. The melee attacks, that includes your exploding palm. So I can actually, if there's a big group of enemies surrounding me, I can teleport and exploding palm, 4 or 5 of them, if not more, depending how much time or how many enemies there are. And then, I'll have my sweeping wind going, so every time I teleport, that's damage to them. And hopefully I have 3 stacks on my sweeping wind, so just tornadoes going out. And in short, hopefully I can kill one of them. Once I kill one of them, that should start the chain reaction and blow all of them up. Now, epiphany. I say this is all about preference at this point, alright? I like Soothing Mist, because with Soothing Mist, I do not have to worry about dying. Unless the damage is so insane, there's no way for me to survive it, I'm not as worried about dying, alright? I've also looked at Epiphany is really good too. Well, Insight is really good too. Essentially, will let you spam, no matter what, you gain, your Exploding Palm costs 40 spirit, that increases your spirit regain per second to 45. Meaning, technically, you get Exploding Palm out every second, you can get more Exploding Palms out without having to worry about spirit, alright? Which is really good. Inner Fire has been considered, it's extra damage, I guess. I'm not really too thrilled on it. The Ascendant's more stunning, which is actually pretty nice too. And Desert Shroud, reducing damage taken by 50%, which is pretty nice too. So, anyways, Epiphany is all about your preference. I prefer Soothing Mist, alright? Now, mantras. Mantras you can change up to whatever situation you're in. If I'm by myself, most likely I want to use Mantra of Conviction with Overall. Alright? Enemies take 16% increased damage at all times. And I can pop it to increase that damage to 20%. Alright? Now, may not seem like much, but when I've got my Exploding Palms going out, which already make enemies take 20% additional damage. Whoa, that's weird. Alright, sorry about that. My fucking video alt tabbed. That was awesome. But as I was saying, enemies already taking 20% enhanced damage, plus the overall extra 20%. That's 40% extra damage. That adds up, okay? Adds up a lot. So, we're going to switch to overall, and then passives and skills. Once again, this is to play style, alright? And this depends what weapon you use, alright? So let's go ahead and look up weapons right now. Right now, I am using 2 one-handed weapons, as you see here. What's key is look how quick I attack. What's important is how fast I attack depends how much spirit I generate, okay? So that's what's important here. Let's go ahead and go to my bank. I got some 2-handed weapons. We're going to take this out. This was the 2-handed weapon I was using before. We'll go ahead and equip that. Do you see this attack speed difference? Pretty dramatic, okay? So, in short, if I attack slower, I do not generate as much as spirit, okay? So let's go look at skills, and I'll tell you how I fixed that problem, depending on what skills I have, right? Determination. I use determination when I'm using 2 one-handers. That way, I get the extra damage, okay? And that's important, alright? If I was using a one-hander, I would be using, let's see if I can find it. Where is it? Guardian's Path, alright? While using a 2-handed weapon, all spirit generation is increased by 15%. Okay? So I'd be using that. And then second, Exalted Soul, I'm always using that. Increase your maximum spirit and give you extra spirit regen, why wouldn't you want to? Alright, Accelerarity. I use this for whatever build I'm using. It's just such a good skill. But always these 2 I use for whatever build I'm doing. Straight up. Increase attack speed of spirit generators by 15%. Awesome. That means I get more spirit back quicker, meaning I get more Exploding Palms, I get more freaking overalls, I can keep my sweeping wind up more. And then Unity. Unity, I was using Unity because I was in a group last night. Alright? Now, since I'm not in a group, I can change this. I can use probably Seize the Initiative is a really good one. And the reason Seize the Initiative is also really good to enemies above 75% life is your attack increases your attack speed by 30%. Now, if you're doing things properly, you're only focusing one enemy at a time. You get that enemy to blow up with your Exploding Palm, and the enemies around it already have the Exploding Palm on them, they're going to blow up too. Meaning, more than likely, you're going to hit multiple enemies. And hopefully one of them's at higher life, giving you that buff. And that's just more attack speed, meaning you generate more spirit. And the reason I would probably use that, especially with the two-hander, would be, once again, it's slow. Okay? Now, since I'm using two one-handers, I'll be using Determination. Each enemy within 12 yards increases your damage by 4%. I'm keeping Exalted Soul. I'm keeping Accelerarity. And probably Season Initiative, I can probably change this to... I probably just keep it Season Initiative, give me a more faster attack. I can change it to Defensive. It all depends. I mean, Momentum, I don't really like that much. I've thought about Momentum. It could be useful for certain builds, but we'll talk about that later. Alright? But that's essentially the skills I use. Okay. Now let's go test this out. Let's see, I want to go to an easy one. Okay, this should be an easy one. Well, not an easy one, but hopefully you got some enemies in there. Alright, so, first thing I'm going to do when I find a battle. Sweep and Wind. See that? Instant destruction. Alright, elites, I'm going to pop my overall, epiphany. See how I'm teleporting as I'm putting my stuff on him? Now I see this one, he's lower health. If you notice, I got the Season Initiative buff still. I had that until the one guy blew up, and honestly, if I focused on attacking him besides showing, tips, go away. I probably could have had it till they died, but as you saw, he blew up pretty easily. Okay? Oh, same plan. Start with Sweep and Wind.
Your strength
Done.
fails.
Easy. Now you've noticed I'm out of spirit. That sucks. Every now and then I will use Epiphany just to get my spirit back up to cap, which is really useful. But let's go keep going and find some more elites. Now this is Tournament 1. I have decent gear. I probably should be playing on Tournament 2 or Tournament 3, but I'm gonna do this. Do this. And done. You notice I'm hitting decently, but I'm not doing tons of damage.
Not enough spirit.
It's my Exploding Palm is my main damage. Alright? But essentially, I think you gotta look at the build. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. We're gonna go to town, and we're gonna switch to the two-hander. I actually might have a better two-hander to score. No, I like scoring. So we're gonna go to town real quick. I'm gonna do this, just because I forgot to do it. Put this in here. Let's go equip this. We're gonna switch out our build again. We'll switch out our skills. So, like I said, you're gonna use Guardian's Path, extra spirit regain, and that's probably it. Okay? Because I'm not worried about damage as much, because I'm doing more damage now. So now I got a bigger spirit generator. Let's do this. More importantly, what's really nice is my Exploding Palm is going to hit harder.
You are defeated.
If I have my Sweep and Wind going, you just see their health taking down. Then they explode. It's as simple as that. I mean, I'm making it look pretty easy, I think, but at the same time, I've been practicing this build a lot. Like, the trick to it is this. Finding the enemy with the least amount of health and putting your Exploding Palm on them. That way, you get the most effect out of it. Like this one, he's low health. Buddy right next to him, I'm gonna die too.
Not enough spirit.
I could put a bomb on him, but ain't no one near him, so why do I want to waste his spirit? This guy's low health. They're dead. I don't know why the tooltips are fucking up. Oop. Let's go ahead and grab this real quick. Put some Exploding Palms out. Now that's 8 to 9 seconds. You gotta remember that too. But, let's do this. Go ahead and blow them up. Ugh, my nose is just. Alright, there's the quest marker. Let's go. I'm gonna stop by talk anymore. I'm going all out.
I need spirit. Break beneath the endless tide.
You notice they all exploded pretty quickly. And that's the goal of this build, is to have them blow up together. If they blow up together, the amount of damage going out is immense. Like I said, chain reaction. Go away. Tooltips. I guess tooltips are weird. But Just gonna keep going. I know I'm rambling a lot, but I'm trying to explain the build the best of my capabilities. Because I feel it's a really good build. Now, bosses. Bosses are unique because they're single target. But at the same time, bosses that summon adds are not single target. So as you just saw, that boss summon adds, what I did was I put my exploding palm on the adds, and then immediately I put it on the boss. The reason I put it on the boss, for the boss can take the 20% additional damage also, okay? So when the 2 or 3 adds blew up around him, he took a total of, we'll do some math real quick, math's scary. So say I think I had it on 2 enemies, he took a total of 65, 40% weapon damage, plus 20% that, plus another 16% for my actual overall. That's a lot of damage. And this is how much damage I'm doing. My weapon damage for scoring is pretty high. So that hit him really hard.
I heard rumors of vast treasure to be
So we'll go ahead and finish this. We'll rescue Merhan, then we'll go back to town.
Don't know why I thought it might be inside an Iron Maiden.
I don't know why
Think
here.
of while I was trapped in that horrible darkness.
But what I'll do is I'll go back to determination.
What had happened to me.
I'll put my two one-handers back on, and that's
I'm
done.
returning to
Now let's
town.
go look at the gear, guys. I want to explain the gear now. I know this is a long-winded video, and I apologize if you just want straight out build and demonstration. If you just want straight build and how to win. Let's go look at gear, alright? We'll look at my two-hander first. Of course, dexterity, and per most builds in Diablo 3, you want critical hit damage increased by so %, and if you have a socket in your weapon, alright? So, we'll go ahead and put that aside. It's pretty easy enough. Now, the Sledge Fist. This is the reason I switched to one-handers. This weapon is amazing. 35.6% chance to stun on hit. 14 maximum spirit. That's not as big deal. Now, it has reduced of all cooldowns by 7%. That's sort of important. I'll explain that in a moment, alright? And of course, dexterity and cold damage. Cold damage, icing on the cake, helps you freeze things, right? My other weapon, Selenium. That's 4 Solar, which is pretty cool. Praise the sun. But, once again, I reforged it until I got a socket in it. So I put the critical hit gem in there. Critical hits have a 4% chance to spawn a health globe. It's got vitality. It's got dexterity. It does holy damage. Alright? Now, as I was saying, cooldown reduction. We'll look at cooldown reduction. I'll explain that real quickly. Okay? Right now, my cooldown reduction is 37%. The reason that's important is Epiphany. Epiphany is your bread and butter. It is what you, well, next to Exploding Palm, of course. It is your burst. It is what you take down packs. It's what you take down elites with. It's what you use to recover. Okay? So it's pretty awesome. That's why you want cooldown reduction. Cooldown reduction, crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and attack speed are your main goals with this build. Okay? Everything else is going to come naturally. Trust me. It's going to come with the gear. And you can reforge accordingly. Depending if you're having trouble surviving, maybe get some more resist or more vitality. Okay? Let's go look at our gear. I got Blackthorns. I got the dexterity, vitality, all resist, armor. Can't complain. I got Scales of the Dancing Serpent. Dexterity, vitality. I would rather have something else. I'm working on reforging this, but it's got 2 sockets, which gave me a total of 124 resist all on there. Pretty good in my book. It's a real defensive item for me. This belt. I love this belt. Okay, it's just an amazing belt. The reason I love this belt, gain 25% run speed. The effect is lost for 5 seconds after taking damage. The run speed helps me get from point A to point B in between enemy packs. But the cool part about this belt is it's got dexterity, vitality, percent life, and increased crippling wave damage by 13%. As you remember, crippling wave is my main spirit builder, and it hits my most enemies. So, as you see here, crippling wave damage plus 13%. Pretty cool, okay? And I actually have the set bonus, which gives me extra 5% vitality. I get the bracers. Now, the bracers have physical damage, dexterity, crit hit chance, which is amazing. Crit hit chance I need as much as possible, but if you remember right, critical hit chance affects my Selenium, which give me a chance to spawn health globes, and critical hits also affect my Sweeping Wind. Plus, critical hits with Exploding Palm are pretty amazing. Critical hit chance, of course, is important, and with the two emeralds, it adds up to more damage, essentially. Alright? And plus, it has a side effect of being immune to knockback and stun effects. meaning I'm not getting knocked back away from the target, meaning I can constantly damage them. Blackthorns, not great, okay? It gives me dexterity, regenerate a little life. The 3 sockets make up for any downside just because that's 180 something freaking resist, which is ton of resist. And the increase the sweeping wind damage is nothing to laugh at either. It's a nice little buff, okay? Neck, Holocon's Ascent. Of course, let me say this. There is a ton of better weapons and gear that I could have, but this is the best I got so far, okay? This neck is actually really good though, okay? Dexterity, vitality, attack speed, and cooldown. That's awesome. That's phenomenal. I think my attack speed is actually maximum. Yeah, that's the maximum amount of attack speed I can have on there too. And the dexterity is almost max. Vitality is a little low, and so is the cooldown, sort of in the middle, but that doesn't matter. What's also really nice is when you use Epiphany, you mesmerize nearby enemies with a skill, and you make them jump up and down, which means they're not moving, which means you can get your easier exploding bombs on them, okay? This helmet. I'm not a fan of this helmet, except for the socket, okay? I don't use Breath of Heavens, so, that's a shame for me, okay? The helm does have life per spirit spent as dexterity vitality. That's the socket's the only redeeming part of this helmet, to be perfectly honest. I mean, the life per spirit spent is actually pretty nice too, I guess. I mean, that costs 40 spirit. I'm getting 300, save 1 life back. So what? That's math. That's like 12,000 life per exploding palm or something like that. You do the math. It's pretty nice. It is redeeming in that factor. Give me life back per spirit I spend, but not great. My shoulders, they're not bad. Dexterity, vitality, resist all, and reduces cooldown, so I can't complain too much. My gloves are really nice, actually. Okay, it got dexterity on it. I'm going to reforge the armor off it, and hopefully go for crit chance is what I want. I think you get crit chance on gloves. I'm not 100% sure. Let's double check on that. So now I'm curious. I want crit chance. I never checked to see if I can get it, so let's see if it's possible. I'm pretty sure it is, though. Crit hit chance, 7 to 10%. That's pretty nice. Let's do it right now. Oh. We'll go with the reduce all resource cost instead of armor. I'm not worried about armor as much, but that's a shame. Alright, let's go back to standing here. Alright, so we got reduced resource cost now. Whatever. We got critical hit damage. It's low. Alright. That's really low. Well, it's not low, it's in the middle, I guess. But critical hit chance will make that awesome. And then it's got the little shielding. With 5 or more enemies within 12 yards, you gain absorb. Shield equal to 20% of your maximum life for 6 seconds. May recur every 30 seconds. That's not too bad. That's around 100k absorb shield. It's not going to save me on Torment 1 because I don't need it, but it comes in handy, okay? So let's go look at my rings. Puzzle ring. Puzzle ring, I'm using for 2 reasons. It's a puzzle ring. Why wouldn't I use it? It's an extra chance for legendaries and rares, okay? But this puzzle ring is actually pretty fucking good, too. It's got attack speed. It's got cooldown of all skills. It's got medium dexterity and vitality. It's sort of in the middle. Can't complain, alright? Now, I'm also using a Skull Grasp. It's got critical hit chance in the middle. Cooldown reduction. Vitality, dexterity. And it's got that reduction in control, duration, control, parry effects by 25%, which isn't bad. That's actually somewhat useful too. But to be honest, I'm trying to reforge a couple of these things. I'm trying to reforge this. Probably get ready to cooldown skill on it to try to get a socket. And the reason I'm trying to get a socket is one of the new things I've learned about in Diablo 3, legendary gems, which are down here. I want to use the Reef of Lightning, which basically makes me have a conduit all times. Alright? But that's my monk build right now. I mean, it was a lengthy explanation. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions or recommendations, let me know. I'm all ears. Just post in the comments, alright? Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.